And this is what it's all about, being able to see these gentle giant creatures up close while they eat off the hay that we're sitting on.
This is the most fabulous thing I've ever done.
Most people associate major movie productions with places like Los Angeles, and for good reason. A majority of states offer incentives to bring big film sets into town in the form of tax credits, rebates, and refunds, amounts that can add up to millions. But here in Idaho, there are no incentives in place, and local advocates say we're missing out on an opportunity to boost local economies.
I used to live in LA, New York. I've been all around.
Kumbalai Satori has been in the movie making business for almost 20 years. Now he calls Boise home.
My plan was to bring film here.
Starting a new business in the middle of a pandemic is a bold decision, but what if you didn't need to maintain a storefront or standard business hours? Well, tonight we take you to downtown Caldwell, where you can shop local with the press of a button.
So these are fun little keychains.
This is Shelley Searle's Caldwell storefront.
And they're all unique and all different.
This is one of 3 new murals installed across the Treasure Valley by Sector 17, and each one of them is designed to showcase and celebrate the culture of the city it's in. With several schools facing temporary COVID-related closures, the need for safe and stable childcare is once again in the spotlight. Most childcare facilities try to incorporate some outdoor time throughout the day, but here at the Boise Urban Garden School, class is outside all the time.
So, do you know what is inside of a pepper?
This isn't your typical classroom.
Seeds, that's right. So if we cut one open, look at the seeds that are inside.
There is a teacher and some students.
That's right, we need water next. I'll go get the water.
But instead of pencils, textbooks, and a whiteboard, this lesson is centered around seeds, soil, and sun. What do you call that?
Seed ball.
A seed ball, whoa.
From COVID concerns and staffing shortages to increasing costs and ever-growing wait lists, many workers heading back to the office in 2022 are finding themselves out of luck.
Basically, as soon as we found out that we were pregnant, we're like, we need to look for childcare.
I'm Karen Lehr out here at Endeavor Elementary School in Nampa, where the Scholastic School Book Fair is going on today. Plus, there's just something about seeing a miniature horse wearing shoes that just makes you happy. A partnership in the Treasure Valley is prioritizing plants for local pollinators, and those seeds are already sprouting.
And it makes these absolutely gorgeous seed heads, you know, that are just full of all of these beautiful little seeds nesting in a pod of the softest fluff.
It's a labor of love for Josie Erskine. Right now, this room near the intake at the Canyon County Jail is mostly empty and unused, but if Sheriff Kieran Donahue has his way, this will soon house an X-ray body scanner every inmate will walk through as they're entering the jail to cut down on the contraband being smuggled inside.
It doesn't matter what it costs to me if we're going to save people's lives.
The city of Meridian provides land, water, and equipment for the garden, but it's the hard work of 32 local families that make harvests like this happen.
What a harvest today. It's absolutely amazing. Help yourself, and then we're loading into Sue's truck.
We all know this summer has been hotter than normal, but how does that impact local farmers? We're out here in Parma at Owyhee Produce to learn just how much this triple-digit heat is impacting their bottom line.
You guys ready? I mean, typically we see, I think the average is 6 days over 100 degrees. We're pushing 28 plus days over 100 degrees this year.
That causes problems like this. Shay Myers runs operations for Owyhee Produce. They have several farms across the region, and their focus?
Asparagus, onions, and now watermelon.
There are a lot of factors going into an operation like this, but weather plays a big part. Take onions, for example, their most important product. Each season, onions have a set number of growing days, but during the extreme heat, the growing stops.
So if we have 100 growing days, but we remove 28 days from their cycle, what you end up with are onions that are a lot smaller.
Smaller onions means fewer pounds of product and ultimately less profit.
I mean, we're going to see fields that are going to have yields compared to last year that are 40% lower. I think overall in the valley, we're going to see an average that's 30% lower than our 5-year average. It's massive.
These buildings are designed to hold upwards of 7 million pounds of onions and can store them safely for more than 8 months. That means onions picked this summer can be sold all across the country through next spring.
So those were harvested on the 9th.
But as this year's crops dwindle, preparations will already be well underway for the following season. And with experts warning of a potential multi-year drought, Myers and his team may be forced to make some tough decisions.
That might mean that all of our onions are grown on 2 or 3 farms that do have water, and we don't grow the 7 or 8 other crops that we normally would.
Karen Lehr, Idaho News 6.